All right, starting to push out, and if you want to start coming down with me.
Yeah.
Looks like upslope looks a little more north for me, but we can maintain this 15-degree heading for now.
Copy.
Looks nice and flat. All right, I'll start putting in Z-bias. You can go ahead and do lights.
Okay.
And I'm going to go off stick, see what slope does for a little, or see what current does. All right, current seems to be pretty light. Nav, you can note there's a slight current to the east. Very slight. Yeah, you can put mine at 30. Happy to see bias. Looks good.
Thanks.
Watch lead. This is Pilot.
Good afternoon, pilot.
Hey, as you can see, we just made it to bottom. We're all set, and we are ready to start the dive. So we'll start per usual, moving to our next waypoint upslope, and then just let me know if you want zooms or anything.
That's great, thanks.
And then, Nav, if ship's ready, I think we could start with a 30-meter move, no problem. What do you think, co-pilot?
Yeah, you run there. It's good.
Yeah, 10 sounds good.
Pilot, keep an eye out. Someone on shore said they thought they saw an octopus moving across the seafloor.
Copy that. I'll have my eyes open.
Thanks, Scott. I think it was to the right, maybe.
Go back there.
Didn't quite catch it. I wasn't looking for octopuses. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer. We're diving today in an area north of a large marine protected area off the western coast of Puerto Rico. We're on an unnamed feature. This small bank or mound in the ocean is suspected to be possible habitat for deep water fishes that we are trying to better understand their distribution and their habitat usage in the area. We're landing a little bit off the feature at the moment, and we'll be moving up a stepwise slope over the course of the dive today. We do have a bit of an extended dive so that we can cover as much ground as possible. My name is Steve Oskovich. I'm one of the co-science leads on board the Okeanos Explorer for this expedition. I'm a PhD candidate at Temple University in Philadelphia, and I'm a deep sea coral ecologist. I study the distribution and biogeography of deep sea corals. And I am joined by...
Hi, my name is Stacy Williams from the Institute for Socio-Ecological Research and Coastal Survey Solutions, both located in Puerto Rico. I'm a benthic ecologist, and I've been studying the marine communities, especially shallow water reefs and mesophotic reefs around Puerto Rico and throughout the Caribbean.
So welcome to today's dive. We're starting at a depth today of around 400 meters, just a couple meters shallower now. 397 was our on-bottom depth.
Diagonal upright fish.
Fish. Did I hear fish?
In the direction you're headed.
Oh
now,
yeah, there's
straight
a
up.
fish at 12, right above the lasers, I believe.
Video zoom in.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh, all the way out there.
Oh, it looks like a little, is it dory?
Yeah, or a boarfish. We're calling it. Could be. We might need to get closer.
Can move that way.
I think we saw one of those on dive 1, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it has the same banding pattern as what we had observed previously. So we are diving in a similar depth range as we were looking at yesterday.
Our video switch come in case he
Yesterday we were
swims
within the depth range of about 400 to 560
Lasers are clear.
or 70
off.
meters.
Copilot, you can be in charge of that.
Copy that.
Starting a little bit shallower
Oh,
today.
lasers.
I don't know, it looks a little bit different than the boarfish actually, so I don't quite know. It doesn't seem to have obvious
So
bands.
lead it downwards.
Could be an Antigonia.
Antigonia. That's what Michelle was saying on the chat room. Just as convergent IDs. So this is likely a deep-bodied boarfish, Antigonia species, Capros. Not one we saw yesterday. We're a
No.
bit shallower, so it could be a good indicator that a bit of a shallower depth distribution here. And I'm seeing on the seafloor, just as we're going along, there's a bunch of small cup corals and octocoral fans, as well as
Video
a
let me
bunch
know
of
how
these
long you want me
large
to-
cone-shaped
Video's good.
sponges.
Alright, copy that. You come on.
Let's get a wide shot.
Yep. Alright, I'll move on.
It's a weird sponge,
Yeah, we saw that yesterday, remember?
kind of growing horizontally.
Horizontal, yeah, it's like a tabletop sponge.
This one looks like it has a depression in it. I wonder if it's growing from the center outwards.
You got lasers on real quick?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Certainly looks like it has the same
Wanna snap it?
thickness and texture, but
Yeah,
wonder if
that's
it's
like
a
a
red
glass sponge.
I wonder if it's similar to these
Very
taller sponges we're looking at, but just more flared.
Sure.
Difficult to say.
Yeah.
You can pull up the CTD computers. You can see the profile, if you will.
Kind of looks like a flying saucer.
See anything crazy happen? Any noise or anything? I'm on the move, Kyle.
Copy that. I'll center back when we're done with this.
All right.
Let's get a full frame.
Tilting down. Stopped.
Pilot, could we see some lasers when you're pulling away?
Yeah.
Just to get an idea of the size.
Video's clear. Lasers.
Going on.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So I'm going to catch up with Copilot, and then
Give
for
about
shallows, there shouldn't be much of a delay.
yeah, pretty much.
So once I'm centered, I say let's just keep the news coming.
Buenas tardes. Hoy estamos explorando un banco
You got it.
submarino. Está al norte de Bajo de Sico, en el oeste de Puerto Rico. Y estamos empezando el buceo un poquito más tarde. Lo siento para la tardanza,
All right, I said let's put another move on. What do you
pero
think?
el objetivo de hoy es para caracterizar los peces en aguas profundas como cartucho y meros, y también vamos a buscar los especies de corales y esponjas y otros organismos como equinodermos. Vamos a empezar el buceo en aguas menos profundas, a 400 metros, y vamos a subir en el banco hasta casi 350 o 320 metros, 320 metros. Yeah, see, now look at this one that is like it hasn't
Flared entirely.
flared entirely.
Do you
Like
want
it
to snap
starts
on
off flat and then
Yeah,
Looks like an excellent pirouette candidate.
it? Let's snap it real quick. Video. Let's see.
yeah, it looks very similar, but just not flat.
yeah. I wonder what the advantage is of being flat like
Laser's
that.
clear.
You would think it would be a more even surface for sediment to build up, but yeah. I suppose the alternative is maybe in a current swept area like this, it's more advantageous to be kind of flat, and
Flatter, yeah.
so you
Video's clear.
reduce your drag.
Copy that. Watch these. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, very
Yes,
good. Thanks.
All right. Video, you can come wide whenever you're happy. Keep moving.
Plenty of these other like mysterious sponges we were talking
Got
about
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Stuff.
You can just put it back on when we're done zooming if you want.
The small octocorals, they're only about maybe a few centimeters
more
tall
tall.
that I was seeing before.
Yeah.
Looked plumarella-like.
Copy.
Try and get a better zoom on those as we go through. Some crinoids as well. Crinoids, sponges, small octocorals, stylastrids, and cup corals. Pretty much what's on this semi-flat seafloor community here.
Yeah, it's less dense than yesterday's. As small, but less
Yeah.
dense.
I'll be heading up a pretty substantial slope as we go through the dive today. And then capping out on the top of this feature at around 340, 330 meters.
Video, you have permission to.
So
push
just
past
south
skids
of
whenever
this
you want.
feature is a protected area, well, 6 months of the year, called Bajo de Sico,
Possible
and
just
this is a really
crossing right,
important area
find
for
out
spawning aggregations
there.
of red hind and also some of the
Possible
groupers.
sponge. See the one I'm talking about?
No.
Diagonal up from lasers, the white.
Do you want to snap it from here as I center?
It'd be a strange place to have a bivalve, but it looked like it from a distance.
So maybe hopefully we get to see some of these groupers when we reach the top of this small little bank. This looks like a test from an echinoderm.
Okay, clear.
Copy. Come on.
5 selected. Sirius 20.
Looks like some would fall.
Gonna snap real quick video.
Yeah, this looks like some woodfall and a couple crinoids attached. You can see some also some gastropods. A couple polychaetes.
That's
It's a shrimp,
interesting ship off to
a
the
couple
right.
shrimp.
Alright, come wide, we'll leave it.
Black whip right above the lasers. Next to that crinoid.
Yeah, very thin.
Oh,
Snap
there you
zoom on
go.
that.
Go snap on a video.
There we go, Stichopathes. A
Lasers
very,
clear.
very common black coral whip we were seeing yesterday, often with lots of brittle stars. We're looking at we've got a really good view now of the black skeleton
Alright, video just a few more seconds.
on
and I gotta
that
push.
forms the axis of this coral.
There's a lot of floating towards it.
Well, the tissue is more translucent
But you
or
like it when I'm close.
gray
Yeah,
in color.
just when you're stable.
Copy, move it on.
Are we done moving now, probably?
I expect we might be seeing more black corals through the dive today. They
Quick little
seem to
push.
get more diverse as we get shallower.
Rotating up again, yeah.
Seems like there's a little bit more glass sponges at the site compared to the demo sponges. It was the other way around yesterday. There were a few more demo sponges than glass sponges, but they seem to be all really small here.
Yeah, I get confused about sponge categories because you can never tell if they're hard and brittle or soft
Yeah. we can
and
put it there.
spongy. Send
Oh,
some
there's
photos
a
off.
fish
right?
upper
Ooh,
at
yeah.
2.
2 fish?
No, at 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
We're not that lucky. Not yet. Not yet.
We're getting
Video
there.
come in on it.
It looks like
Lasers clear.
Copy. Lasers are coming off.
a roughy.
Our old friend the Ruffy.
Yep.
Seen quite a few of them yesterday. They really like to use this relief. It looks like it's hugging that sponge pretty closely. They definitely like to be found under relief.
Yeah, yesterday we would find them a lot of times in the break of the seafloor, close to the
Video's clear.
different holes and crevices.
Alright, video, we'll let him swim out. Or you can just come wide, I guess. Since he wants to stay. Alright, move it on. Thanks.
That depression on the right rises.
Yeah, a little bump.
There's another one behind it.
Yeah, looks like we're approaching slope. We're in a high pack. Might be.
Pilot, we have a request
way
from
up.
shore to try and understand what the sediment is here. Is it soft or hard? Can you do like kind of kick the sediment a bit?
Yeah, let me touch real quick. Make sure I don't hit anything important first. So it is soft, not as soft as we've seen. I hit it pretty hard, and I didn't kick up that much. You can kind of see that's where I went down and kind of scraped my toe.
Looks like a sediment on something hard, maybe.
Yeah. Sometimes if a vehicle sits, and it's really soft and there's a lot of sediment, you can really see the toe, like an impression left.
Yeah.
But that really didn't make an impression.
Pretty sandy, maybe hard underneath.
Yeah.
Is it gum on the move here?
Copy that.
No rush.
Science
Yeah, watch it.
notice
If you want
the
more, we could potentially
HD2 serious feed.
plant and get the arm out and just kind of put the fingers in the sediment to see what that does too. Just let me know.
Yeah, it looks like it is possibly like hard substrate with a thin veneer of sediment maybe on top.
Yeah.
In some areas. Some areas there are depressions where it looks like there could be some sand channels.
Yeah, it's tough to say if it's hard rock underneath or if it's just consolidated sediments that are packed pretty firm. There's a little bit of a bump there. Pretty well colonized by sponges.
Dark object on the right's got me wondering what it is.
Is there some
It looks like
that
some
line?
line.
Do you want to snap that center?
Oh no, it's a
split at the
spoonworm.
end?
Yeah, can we look to the left? It's a spoonworm.
Yeah.
If you follow that trail all
Oh, yeah.
the way, there it
Oh,
goes.
let's go.
Yep. These were the things that were making that
The
star
star?
shaped.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
You can see its burrow, it's retracting
So long.
its appendages into its burrow.
We finally get to see one.
Yeah. These are a group called the Echiurans. Usually they're pretty common. We saw a bunch of their traces on dives that were much deeper on sedimented slopes. And yeah, they're basically scooping off organic material from the top of the sediments, ingesting that. Almost looked like fishing line.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the longer ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, by given like the design that they make, I wouldn't expect their appendages to be so long.
Yeah.
So we should be approaching moderate slope soon, right?
So now we're getting in our bathymetry here. It is showing a slight
Arch and right edge of screen.
bump in the
Cave
contours.
just up ahead.
So consistent with what we're looking at here. We're looking at some.
Just snap it real quick from here, video, so I don't get too far off track.
This looks like another aerosoma.
Yeah.
Type of pancake urchin.
Areosoma, right?
Aerosoma.
Areosoma.
Is my camera full wide? Well, I think it is.
Confirm.
Yeah.
Can we tilt up to look at that cave as we come through it?
Is there? What's that red thing?
This it might be one of the weights again from fishing.
Oh yeah.
It's like a paintbrush handle.
Ricardo was mentioning
That's
this
it.
morning that when they fish these areas, they use
How much were you
more
left for
weights
the move? Looks like
often
it's
Is that
to
it right there?
counteract the effect of the current.
Oh, it's
yeah.
a paintbrush.
done. We'll turn starboard a little bit. Move's done.
Something
Copy.
on that?
We can always turn back. Let's
Maybe a sponge?
Yeah.
keep you on the edge here. Oh, wait a second.
So I wonder if that sponge classifies as a woodfall. It has a wooden handle.
Can you give us another tilt up?
Yep. How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
It's gonna pan
Just
it.
Yeah, a lot of encrusting sponges primarily. Encrusting and attached sponges on the underside of these ledges. Not as many corals as we were seeing yesterday, but it seems like there's enough ample hard bottom.
I get move underway now. Fine.
Yeah, you can center.
Maybe like 1.5 or something like that.
Yeah. Whatever slope's looking like.
Yeah, I'm at 1.5 right now.
Copy. Let's do it.
Do it. Yeah.
So that's something there. At the start of the wall.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
sediment
it's,
ripples here.
Ripples. Yeah, the current in this area is
I think it's that.
usually pretty strong. So it'll be interesting to see if we do see some of these branching corals, because I would expect, you know, the drag and the conditions of this area to be not so favorable
This wall.
for large branching
Yeah, I think
Yep.
it's pretty shallow. Let me get to it.
Almost certainly.
animals.
See over it, though.
Wow, there is something here. For a second I thought we were going to head into
Give
the
us another
flats,
tilt
but
up.
there is something really densely encrusted on this
Okay, good.
little lip.
20, 10 meters?
It's not very tall. I was making sure that it
Yeah.
wasn't crazy tall.
Yeah, no, you're good.
We can hop over it, or we can stop and look at it.
Can we zoom to try and scan along this wall to see what kind of these smaller structures are?
Yeah, Vida, you want to come on in? We'll just kind of pan.
It's just sponge material, or maybe there's hard bottom in there. There's bits of yellow. I can't figure out what those are. Maybe encrusting sponges?
That's my first guess.
Purple
Yeah,
patch.
purple patch. I don't know. That could be.
I have to wait in suspense. Some
I think
black
the yellow
branching.
is. Yeah, I think the yellow is sponge.
I think you could make an argument there's about a half a dozen sponge species just on this vertical surface alone. Yellow, blues, ball-shaped sponges, these platy, more cup-like sponges. As well as a couple different types of encrusting ones. We've red ball sponge there.
The orange. I wonder. That's something a little bit different. We usually see the yellow and blue encrustings.
There's a white fan there, like a white branching structure. That might be a coral. So it could be
Vida,
an
you wanna
octocoral.
come wide. Let's reevaluate
Very
where we're
tiny
at.
though. I would
Give
guess
us a rotate side to side.
no more than
Yes,
5
sir.
or 6 meters in height. I said centimeters, right? Or did I say meters?
I
Either I can
Whatever I said, I
I'll
meant
stop here.
centimeters.
And then you can stay on the wall for a minute.
Well, actually, is this pilot?
Yeah, pilot.
Hey, is this wall something we want to spend time on, or should we keep moving?
We can move up and over it. Yeah, it's we want to move upslope,
Yeah,
try and get
copy
to the
that.
top of this feature.
Copy that.
Can you rise up a little bit to light it for Sirius as you approach it?
To rise Sirius or D2?
D2
Okay.
to light it for Sirius.
Yeah, copy.
Based on the
Goes
texture,
down
it doesn't
so
look to me
far.
like it's a very hard, broken carbonate be more just consolidated carbonate and sediments.
It's a cool feature.
And just continue that turn until you show the distance. Good. Look at those holes in the Sirius view.
Yeah, up here.
There's
Top.
fish upper left.
Wow. That gives it definitely an idea of the size.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How-
well, actually, my altitude's 6.2 meters, so you could say that's about how tall that wall is.
Okay.
Step wall. Drive to this fish, that'll center me.
This feature we're
Fish
diving
turned
on
into a,
very
sponge.
much
Yeah, it did. Huh.
in our bathymetry looked like a stepwise
Unless it's
tilted carbonate platform. And so this is pretty much what we're seeing on the seafloor, so this is a good confirmation that our bathymetry is pretty much spot on. We expect to be going up more of these stepwise features through the course of the dive today.
That's high pack lakes. We got 380. That's perfect.
These holes might
Yeah,
be good
this
for
is really
fishes. Yeah,
interesting.
almost
Like,
like
divots.
hummocky terrain. Would expect to see fishes or something in there too, maybe. I think I see a
Sea star.
Yep, lower center.
orange bottom.
I'll start to snap a video.
Oh, it's a darker coloration. I think it's a darker coloration of our friend Temeria, the sea star we were seeing the past few days. It looks to be perched on top of maybe a sponge. Difficult. It might be a sponge underneath. Difficult to say if it's preying on that sponge or something on top of that sponge.
Yeah, the little holes in
The video's clear.
Copy that. Come wide. Had lasers on it. Nice.
Video swapping out.
Alright, thanks video. Is it
Yeah, there's like a small little fish in the water column, like at 11, but I think it's swimming away pretty quickly.
yeah, copy that. It's right in the middle of our video switch. I think he's gone.
Yeah, that's okay.
So we've looked at, I would say, like 3 or 4 different types of terrain just in our short time on bottom. We looked at some soft, more or less even, flat terrain, this hummocky material, as well as these kind of outcrop walls, and some eroded or dissolved carbonates. So we have a fair bit of diversity in seafloor types here. It's a holopus, a small one.
What does it look like after 6? I know we don't have another one, but in the event that we have extra time. Okay,
It's just the
all
peak,
that,
yeah.
all that con. Okay. Much bottom time.
Nav watch lead.
Oh, okay, probably. Yeah. Watch lead was calling you. I think. You can see him.
Ooh. Can zoom from here, video.
Oh, there's.
It's far away. Yikes. It's far.
Oh,
Great, thanks.
it looks like this might be the Polylepion.
Polyebion? Yeah, possibly. It seems to have
that.
that dark splotch on the caudal peduncle.
He's going to go down. Come wide video.
We can get another move in. Let's see. 45. Yeah. Co-pilot, go for a move. You are?
Yeah, I'm happy.
I think 1.5's good. Yeah. I got my set point just a little bit starboard just to keep my actual at 1.5. Yeah.
All right, video, come back
Yeah.
on him real quick.
Let's do that. So that was pretty good.
Kill lasers.
Yeah, it looks like what we were seeing yesterday. And some of the fish didn't have the spot towards the
come wide video. We'll leave him.
caudal fin, but I'm not sure if that's the same or it could be
It's definitely a good observation
Coloration,
worth
yeah.
noting, yeah.
and we did find some with 8 bands and not 6 bands.
Yep.
So
Initial
there is some
lasers.
variation.
Copy.
I'd say sponge densities are pretty similar to yesterday. Coral densities are way down, at least right here. We did see some plumarella-like octocorals a little bit deeper, but they were also very small. It's a fair bit of current going across our screen here now.
So this is something new that we've seen in this expedition, this type of terrain with these really long sand channels and these kind of like stepwise or steps in the substrate. I mean, I haven't really seen this before.
Yeah. Yesterday we were looking at more overhangs and outcrops. This is more, I would say, smoother than what we were seeing yesterday. There was some jaggedness associated with the outcrops, broken rocks. These hills seem to be more smooth.
There's like
Yeah, like
maybe a
7 o'clock pilot. There's something with tentacles. Yeah, right on the lasers now.
Video, you can snap it. Come on out.
Looks like an anemone. It was something striking we
Good
did
little
not see
lasers
yesterday.
clip
That
out.
was surprised. We didn't see many anemones.
Sir.
Maybe a couple on some of the close zooms in, but they were not large like this one. Very good. Thanks, pilot.
Copy that.
Is there a crab off to the right?
In
Ah.
view.
right
Ooh.
there. Yeah, it's
Something
crawling.
new.
Yeah, very small scurrying.
Looks like a squat lobster.
They lost him already. Again.
Yep,
Oh,
right there he
there
is.
All right.
And almost impossibly small.
Ah, those are those small little sponges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be everywhere. It's just a matter of finding one that is big enough to collect. You know, we tried hard to collect one of these cone-shaped sponges that's on the left-hand side of the image now in previous days, but didn't quite work. They're very small.
I've never noticed the iridescence colors of squat lobsters before.
Yeah, I've never seen them this small, so it could be
Yeah.
something they have when they're much younger in a juvenile stage. Thanks, pilot.
No problem. Our video, you can come wide.
Squat lobsters, like crabs and other crustaceans, they molt several times usually over the course of their life. As they get bigger, they grow a new skeleton. So you might expect there to be some changes in the composition and thickness of the skeleton as they get older and older. Is that debris on the left-hand side?
Video,
Or is
come
that-
on in.
Plant debris?
I think it's palm.
Palm.
Yeah.
Okay. All set there.
We haven't seen much sargassum on these, not compared to the ones off of La Parguera.
Yeah, the South Coast and parts of St. Croix had a lot of sargassum. I wonder if it's associated with the currents in this area. Oh, you know what else had a lot of sargassum was the Mona Canyon,
Yep.
the eastern wall dive.
And Delassia, some of the seagrass blades. Now here's another one of those steps.
It's a pretty deep hole.
Oh, there's a fish at like 3 o'clock.
Video, snap it. Yeah. It's too far for us to get there, but we can snap him real quick.
Looks like a roughy.
It's lasers. Alright, we come wide. That's good.
I think that move's about done.
I'm wondering that we're seeing fewer of these large sponges right here. I'm wondering if this area is a little current scoured. It's difficult for very large sponges to make a living.
I think so. By just looking at the morphologies on this wall, they're all really encrusting and have a low profile. And there's sand ripples.
It's another-
So I think that there's probably a lot of current in this area.
So when we did set down on bottom, we were experiencing a west to east current. I'm curious how that compares with the surface current we were feeling this morning. It seems like it was coming more from the northeast.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there was a reversal of currents over the course of the day or over depth.
I think surface current was going, it was to the northeast, right? About 50 degrees.
To the
this morning.
northeast.
Yeah, to the northeast.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's consistent with what we were seeing on the bottom here.
Probably, I'm ready for a move. 1-5. But do you want us to get up to waypoint 5, or are you okay with landing a little bit? Right now we're going to land like between them. Is it?
We're just going
Going uphill?
steepest upslope, but it's not that steep. We can cut it if necessary.
Yes, Neff. Stand by. We'll discuss that for a second.
In the meantime, we can probably move to 0.
Yeah, we can get moving. You're looking at me. Third.
That works with us.
1-5.
Pilot, this is Watch Lead. Could you snap zoom on the sea urchin?
Yeah. Absolutely. Video, you want to snap it?
Yeah, you can call it moving. 0-1-5 probably.
Get rid of lasers for me, co-pilot.
No, this is a smooth spine. Sedaris.
Thanks, Nat.
Is that all you wanted, Watch Lead? Just
Yeah,
see the
that's good.
spines? Yeah, copy.
Thanks. Seems to be a lot more crinoids here
Yeah.
than yesterday.
We didn't see many yesterday.
Ah,
I think studios need some lasers too. Yeah, we're moving that way. I just need to turn back. Let me know if we run out of tether, co-pilot.
Try to give you some more here. It's off to my starboard. Should be okay.
Copy. Alright, video, you want to start to come in?
All right. That's good.
Get rid of lasers.
We got it. We got two echinoderms in the shot for you, Scott. Here, if you're watching. I don't know if we can hold it for long, but we'll try and get some good images here. So we're looking at two different echinoderms. On the left-hand side, we have a crinoid, and on the right-hand side, we have an urchin. This one's not obviously feeding on anything. Maybe small invertebrates or something growing on the sediment here. Although these structures, I can't tell if to the upper left of the urchin, if it's a foram or a sponge. This one here.
yeah, we've been seeing these, and I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I think it might be a xenophyophore or a heavily fouled sponge. Okay, thanks, pilot.
No problem. Right video. Co-pilot, I'll center with you.
We're on the move.
Looks like there's those purple-ish sponges. Let's see.
Oh yeah, the
The Pharea, or possibly
difficult to say. Is there a
something.
splotch?
Yeah,
Like
it's like orange.
6 o'clock orange splotch on the seafloor? Orange red.
Get lasers real quick. Is it down here?
It's right above the lasers.
12
It's
o'clock.
Yeah,
Partial
12
video.
o'clock.
I think this was that red.
That we saw under the sponge yesterday.
Yeah, we weren't sure what it was. I think it's probably an encrusting sponge of some type.
That little spot.
And I really want to see what these are because
Okay.
these seem really abundant. The small little ball
Right.
sponges.
Yeah. Yeah, these are almost always pretty heavily coated with sediment, so I wonder how a sponge would tolerate that much sediment.
Coming more
on
if you
top of
want
it.
Video.
Yeah, it looks like a sponge.
It looks very thin, like you can see the edges. It's quite platey.
I think that move's complete. I'm looking down at you.
Copy that.
Yeah,
Should be
okay.
fine here.
Can we just do a quick zoom on, there are these really small sponges. I think it's just below this sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that right there in the corner to the right.
Kind of look like cotton balls.
Yeah. I don't know if they are glass sponges or demo sponges, but they're everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Video come partial.
Yeah, there's easily a very spongy dive today.
All right, video, you can come in. Copy. It's very small.
Part of me wants to say demo sponge, but part
Yeah.
of me wants to say glass sponge.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
I'll push after this copilot.
But they are probably one of the most abundant sponges we're seeing on the seafloor. It's often easily overlooked. Stream 2 kind of has a very good overview of the kind of terrain we're traveling through to now. The Sirius view. It's very hummocky and lunar looking.
Is that all we need, Washits?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
All right. Moving on. I'll push copilot.
Would you like me to cycle your tail cam?
Sure. Nice.
Another piece of wood on the left, or is that a weight? A dark bar there? Then there's another.
Can we snap this video?
After this to the right.
Oh, yeah. Looks like another weight.
Yeah.
So Michelle and Kate were mentioning how they use rebar as weights for the fishing lines.
Is that all you want, Washits?
I think that's perfect. Yeah, and to the far right, out of the frame, there looked to be a large fan-shaped object, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't an optical illusion.
Yeah, copy far right.
Oh,
Holopus.
Talipus.
Yeah. Polypus, the carnivorous crinoid. Yeah,
Is that what you were looking for?
I think it was that, yeah.
Copy that. Do you want
Looks
to
a little
snap,
bit-
or did you just want to
No, that's all right. It's, yeah, we've
move it on?
seen this crinoid.
And these crinoids have many more arms than the crinoids we're used to. We've been seeing 10-arm crinoids, but these have much more.
Yeah. Arms are, they're pretty abundant. I've seen these types of crinoids. I don't know what they are, but I've seen them on rocky ledges that can become very abundant. Is there another dark object out there at 1 o'clock on the seafloor?
Yeah, stand by.
Yeah, bar or debris.
This will be about the same size. Video you want to snap from here?
That one's actually wood. Another woodfall. This one's pretty heavily fouled with serpulid worm tubes as well as some boring, B-O-R-I-N-G, boring, right?
Boring. Yeah.
B-O-R-E-I, yeah. Anyway, spelling is not great today. Animals that move into the wood and digest the available carbon in the wood.
Is that all you
It's
need?
a small
Watch
squat
this.
lobster too there. Oh, right here. Yeah.
Oh, wow, tiny.
Oh, yeah. All right, you good with that, watch lights?
Yes, that's good. Thank you.
All right. Video when you're happy, you can come wide. Nice.
Ready for a
I
move?
noticed that a lot of these sponges are facing the kind of the same way.
It's a bit like a cool area to walk around.
This could be due to the currents. Oh, wow, look at this cut.
Interesting try.
Yeah, do we want to get a move in?
Yeah, I'm ready for a 30. Like a 1.5 would be good.
I'm happy.
I wonder if this feature actually is fished. We had some evidence that it could be fished in our call yesterday, but there isn't as much, it's fairly flat here. There isn't as much weights and line as I would expect if it was as heavily fished.